In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines.
Who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Trends on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in and across Nigeria and Africa. My name is Omotola Adeleke, and of course we have guests in the studio. My first guest is not new, is not a new face to the program. Barrister Meme, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Of course, Barrister Meme is an outspoken man. He says it as it is, and I know he's still going to say it as it is in the program or in this episode today, right?
Absolutely.
We're expecting much from you. All right, so we also have Esther in the studio. Esther, you're welcome to the program. But first of all, Esther, what did you eat before coming to the studio?
I have not had food for today.
You have not had anything?
I came prepared.
Oh, you've not eaten anything?
Yeah.
Or you... because we don't want your fasting to influence your thoughts. All right. We also have Judith, who believes she's taller than I am. Judith, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm taller than he is.
Okay. She believes she's taller than I am. Also, let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition of Trends. Contractors blocked the Federal Ministry of Finance in Abuja, protest unpaid allowances. Police arrest suspect in abduction, ritual killing of 6-year-old Ebonyi girl. Blord issues cease and desist to VeryDarkMan over use of Ratel name. Onto the lead story as it concerns what we have on Trends for you. Now listen, indigenous contractors under the All Indigenous Contractors Association of Nigeria, ICAN, on Monday blocked the Federal Ministry of Finance in Abuja, protesting the federal government failure to pay over 4 trillion naira owed for completed projects. The protest follows a similar demonstration in December 2025, with contractors accusing the government of reneging on repeated payment commitment. ICAN President Mr. Jackson Wosu said the action was driven by mounting debt, cash flow challenges, bank default, and asset seizures faced by contractors who borrow to execute government jobs. He dismissed claims that 80% of the liabilities had been settled, stating that only about 30 to 40% had been paid, with warrants stopping in May 2025. Tension briefly rose when the security aide fired a warning shot as the Minister of State for the Finance, Doris Uzoka Anite, approached the complex, triggering panic. ICAN leaders condemned the incident, insisting the protest was peaceful and would continue until all verified payments are made. Barrister Meme, this is not the first time these contractors have come out to complain about, their payment, their money, their allowances, and all that. In fact, there was a time they came on different platforms. It was on publications, it was on newspapers, TV, radios, and all that, been complaining. In fact, there was also a time the government said they had paid them. What would you have to say to this?
Well, this actually falls under the realm of business transaction or contractual engagement between the private contractors and the government or relevant government agencies. Shutting down the Federal Ministry of Finance, to me, is just a way of expressing
their grievances.
But beyond that, there are procedures to recover debts, and that procedure still lies within the court processes to recover your debts and all of those things.
But if these were foreign contractors, I don't think foreign contractors are being owed this way. But our indigenous contractors, don't you think they are being taken advantage of?
Well, I think each of these cases will depend on the peculiar cases. When you see people gathering there, I'm sure they all had different contractual agreements or arrangements from the various agencies of government, departments, and the rest of them. So I think each of the cases should be treated separately. So one cannot say why money was not paid or why money was not completely paid for a job that they said or they alleged must have been concluded. But I know for sure that there are always terms of reference in terms of this contract between private individuals or contractors.
So you don't think the government to a certain extent play favoritism when it comes to foreign contractors? Because we've never heard of foreign contractors come out to protest and say, hey, you have not paid us our monies, we've completed projects for you and you have not paid and all that. We've not heard stuff
It is possible that they adopt other, more civilized or civil ways to address some of these issues. And more so, like we know, if government will usually mobilize, it depends on the terms of reference. So if they are saying they are indigenous contractors, I don't know the kind of association they must have come up to put together. Are they indigenous contractors for the purpose of serving the government, or indigenous contractors who also serve the government and the general public, as the case may be? But however that is, I think individually can, file a suit to recover this, the liabilities on the part of the government.
All right.
But not to entirely block the Ministry of Finance. And more so, like I mentioned earlier, one cannot be able to determine what level of contractual arrangement or job done or carried out and which agencies or department of government. If you block the ministry, if you carried out a job for Ministry of Works, for instance, and you are supposed to be reimbursed by Ministry of Works, the ministries work together with the Ministry of Finance. If you deliver a job for Ministry of Education, for instance, and you now form a group to go to Ministry of Finance, it doesn't make sense to me.
All right. Now, Barrister, let's move on to Judith quickly. Judith, do you agree with Barrister that they would not have come out to block the Ministry of the Ministry of Finance? Rather, are you saying they shouldn't have come out that way? They should have probably taken legal means to do it and all. What do you have to say?
Yes, I agree with Barrister Meme. There are definitely more better ways, if I can put it that way, better ways to go about getting what they are owed.
But this is not the first time they've been complaining about not being paid.
If they take it up legally, I feel like it would achieve more things for them than going to block the ministries or the Ministry of Finance. Because from the reports, an officer fired into the air. That could have been a case of stray bullets. It could have gone wrong, and it would have been a case of stray bullets, and that would be an entirely different issue, and it would cause more issues.
But I would even want to say that reminds me, some of these contractors had actually gone to court. Yes, some of these contractors had actually gone to court. Maybe I don't know. Maybe perhaps let's ask Esther this question. In a situation where legal means are delaying, are you saying they should not come out to protest, or they should not come out to block the Ministry of Finance? What would you have to say?
Okay, so protest is one thing and violence is another. It's very okay to protest against something you do not like. I mean, it's just a voice of the people coming together to say this is what we don't want. So if they are protesting peacefully, it's fine. But if they are doing it with a form of violence, that is where the problem is.
Blocking the Minister of State for Finance violence? Should that be tagged as violence? Not allowing her to go into her office, is that violence?
It's not tagged as violence, but I mean, that is not the appropriate way to go about these things.
Okay, let's move on to the next story quickly. The Anambra State Police Command has arrested a 28-year-old suspect Friday at Konobi in connection with the abduction and murder of a 6-year-old girl, Uzioma Nwakwo, from Ikwo local government area of Ebonyi State. In a statement issued on Sunday, the command spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga said operatives of the Rapid Response Squad, Okuzo, and arrested the suspect in Oka on January 17 following credible intelligence. Preliminary investigations linked Akonobi to the child's abduction on Monday 10, 2025. And a subsequent murder. Police said the suspect confessed to working with 4 accomplices still at large and alleged that the victim has taken to Enugu and handed over to a native doctor, Levi Onyeka Obieze Obo, also known as Ozo Ezeani. He reportedly claimed The group received 1 million naira per victim for ritual purposes. Ikenga said the alleged native doctor has been arrested by Enugu State Police while efforts are ongoing to apprehend the remaining suspects and ensure justice is served. Judith, this might sound funny, but it's not funny. Are virgins now endangered species? It's not, because this is not the first time I've heard stories like this. I don't know.
Personally, I don't believe in the entire
like spiritual. Is there like a spiritual attachment to virgins?
No, personally, I don't believe in that. I don't.
So Esther, why do you think there's so much concentration on virgins when it comes to rituals?
I think that's an archaic belief. We're in recent times and the world has developed. So ritual purposes can be mothers, kids, anybody can be used for ritual purposes. I think we've gone past the time where they come out to say virgins must be used, virgins' blood is thicker. Well, all of those things, we've gone past it. So
imagine offering an herbalist saying 1 million naira for per virgin. Barrister, quickly. What do you think? It has gotten to this level. Because this is not the first time. I remember last year in November, there was a news that came out also that 2 virgins were killed for ritual purposes. Virgins per se. So is there a spiritual, or do virgins fetch out more money for these barbaric individuals?
Well, there is no doubt for those who understand the nature of spirituality, that there is a lot that happens within the spiritual realm, and whether you believe it or not, these things really happen. So even when you come people who practice charms and the rest of them, they get these powers, they derive this power through different means, blood and the rest of them. Some will even give you this impression of bringing in a very few months old child and the pound and the rest of them. These are some ancient belief, and there are somehow very devilish tradition that has somehow worked, but of course in a very much negative context. So these things really work. There's no doubt about that. And for those who are also members of cultism and the rest of them, so it works more for.
Are we to blame poverty for people who engage in this kind of things? Are we blaming poverty, or these people are just greedy or just lazy and don't want to work?
Well, so many factors. You have to look at environmental influence. You also look at the level of education, and you mentioned poverty. Yes, poverty can as well. Belief system also can contribute the value as well of the society within the scope. So, and all of these things, matters a lot. And that is why you see that in other clans, science is ruling, is dominating.
Okay.
But in some other areas, such as Nigeria, you see that
we are using our own science for wickedness.
Wickedness and killings.
Honorable Barrister, thank you very much. Thank God that the suspects have been apprehended. Now, quickly, celebrity Nigerian cryptocurrency entrepreneur Linus Williams Ifejirika, popularly known as Blord, has issued a cease and desist letter to social media critic VeryDarkMan, directing him to stop using the name Ratel. Blord disclosed this in a trending Instagram post, stating that he has trademarked Ratel as his business brand. In a public statement shared on his Instagram story, he said VeryDarkMan would require his formal approval before further use of the name. The move has sparked mixed reactions all across social media, especially given the ongoing feud between the two public figures. That dispute began in October 2025 after VeryDarkMan visited China to assist Nigerian traders with sourcing goods. During the trip, he accused Blord of business fraud and overpricing modified gadgets, later petitioning the police to investigate Blord's business practices. Ratel is the name VeryDarkMan uses to describe his online supporters. Barrister Meme, Ratel is an animal. Not well known, but that's an animal. Can you trademark an animal's name and use it as your business name?
Certainly no. But I actually read the story, and I look at you can trademark your identity, your logo, and what makes your logo unique is about the features in your logo. But the word Ratel cannot be trademarked because it's the name of an animal or the name of a thing. So, but if you look at VeryDarkMan's logo, I think it looks like something like
the Ratel, the picture of the Ratel.
Picture of it, right? But when you look at the logo being trademarked by,
it's different.
I think that's actually different. But some of these issues might be resolved by, probably testing the waters in the court of law.
Okay, testing the waters in the court of law. Esther, Blord and VeryDarkMan have had their horns locked on each other for a while now. Do you think what Blord is doing? We've known Ratel as a name for fans and followers of VeryDarkMan. Do you think this is about trademarking a business, or this is about probably silencing VeryDarkMan from critiquing him?
I don't know what's really going on between those two, but they have a lot going on, honestly. And for me, I think this trademark thing is about him getting back at VeryDarkMan, right?
It's not about business.
It's not about business, because of course this Ratel is not a name that he managed by himself. This Ratel was there, so anybody can use it, and even if it's not like he's registered it as this is what I want it to be. So I think it's just him getting himself at VeryDarkMan.
Okay, so Judith, I know you don't like VeryDarkMan. You're dark and you don't like VeryDarkMan. You don't like your complexion. So what do you think?
I think, honestly, Blord is just being petty.
Okay, you don't like Blord too?
I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm not
saying. I just think he's just being petty. He's trying to get his pound of flesh from VeryDarkMan. Because honestly, he already has businesses, and his other businesses are registered already under the Blord Enterprises. So the trademarking of Ratel is just basically a move to be petty.
So it's childish. AKA petty, of course.
You can say that.
Okay. That's it for today's edition of Trends on LJE News. Many thanks to Judith. Thank you very much for coming around.
Thank you.
Essa, thank you so much for your contributions. And of course, Barrister Meme, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you to the viewers and listeners out there. Don't forget to always follow, like, and share at LJE News on all social media platforms to stay in the loop and join the conversation ahead of our next show. My name is Omotola Adeleke. See you next time. Bye for now.
In terms of tackling security, there is